Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you had an amazing weekend and happy Monday. So today I'm building again in Willow Creek. I'm building a house from a TV show from Desperate Housewives. This house is Bree's house, so one of the four main characters if you haven't seen the show. But yeah, it's sort of like this colonial style blue suburban, which turned out to be a bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be because of the way it's shaped. It's sort of like a big box. But yeah, I rose to the challenge and I think I did quite a good job. As you can see here, I started on quite a small lot because I thought the house would fit because it looks kind of small from the outside. But in actuality, I needed a much bigger lot because she has this sort of like double-story garage that she renovates in the show when she starts her own business. And I wanted to include that double-story garage. And I did, but I realized that it's too close to the house. And so when it's like squares or squares on the grid away from the actual house. And in the real house, it sort of has more of an opening towards the back garden. Also, this house doesn't have a swimming pool, which I did add. Now, as you can see, this house is sort of a big cube, which you would think is quite an easy shape to build. And yes, it is. The actual floor plan of the house was easy, but the roofing was the problem because it sort of has this big gabled roof from the first story all the way to the top of the roof, and the roof is quite tall. As you can see, I'm building that gable, and it doesn't have that like curved edge that happens when you use a gabled roof to sort of create an attic. But I sort of made it work. Like you can see here, it's a lot of like moving things around, moving walls, moving roof shape, which I find is the best way to actually build a roof. When you are roofing, especially if you're roofing the first time, just put a bunch of roofs down and try and see which is the best way to roof that looks seamless. Because that is, at the end of the day, all roofs are in real life is seamless. And if I'm trying to build anything in this game that is like, for example, this house, it is something based in real life. Now, as you can see in the front, it has this beautiful architectural detail where the roof sort of curves. Now, in the real house, it's not curved. It's actually more of an archway in the front with that sort of urn in the middle. But you can't do that on the roof, and we don't have that object in game. So I sort of just made my own with the two curves and putting that little urn in the middle and sizing it up one because it is obviously bigger. Now, the house is quite an interesting house because, like I said, it has this weird roofing structure, which I made look easy in the speed build, but in fact took me a very long time to do. And which was really nice though about this house is that we have most of the objects that would fit nicely into this house already even in base game. So I obviously used all the packs I have, but I must be honest with you, a lot of the architectural details came from base game. So if you do have base game, you should be able to have most of this house if you download it from the gallery, which it will be up. Which also you guys can download any of my speed builds on the gallery. It's the same as YouTube. It's SASimmer, but SASimmer and then it's 97 at the end after the year I was born. Now, the house is quite a large house, which is nice, especially if you want to like, if you're a family simmer, that would be very nice. You can really raise a family in here. The house has 4 bedrooms. 3 of them are in the actual main house, and then one of them is in the 2-story garage. Now, in the show, Bree, the woman who owns this house, starts her own catering company and turns her garage into sort of a catering kitchen. Now, I was planning on do that, but then I thought, you know what would be really cool is to create a pool house. So I still put the garage door. Well, I made the garage door from what we can make because we don't have garage doors in The Sims, and I sort of made it look like the person who lived here has renovated the garage to add the 2nd story and make it sort of a pool house. And I did put a pool off the back of it. You'll see later when we do the landscaping and garden. But the landscaping and garden really was a very big and important aspect in designing this house. Because in the show, it's sort of well known on Wisteria Lane, the show with the street where the house is set on the show, that Bree has the best garden. Especially she has lots of hydrangeas, which I made sure to put in. And she has this beautiful like circular flower bed with a tree in the front with all these hydrangeas, which I did include, which I thought was quite beautiful. And then she has all this brickwork, like her driveway is brick, and she's got quite a long driveway. The walkway to the front of her house is brick, and she has this beautiful paved area at the back with all these flower beds, which I included in as well. So the house in itself I thought was quite beautiful. The real house, and I think my rendition of it was not too terrible, actually. after trying to build it. I must be honest with you, I don't think I will build it again. This will be it because, like I said, it is more of like a square. It's not really my kind of style, though I do find the house extremely beautiful. I would never personally in real life want to live somewhere like this. But yeah, and as you can see, the windows are all from base game. Even the front doors, even from base game. So it is really, it really does use a lot of base game in the house, which I quite enjoyed. But yeah, so I really did like it. And I really like the blue sliding, I suppose it's called. We don't really have that in South Africa, sliding. But yeah, I really like how the blue mixes with the brick. The brick does change, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure it does. But yeah, so the brick changes to match. If it doesn't change, I don't remember. But if it doesn't change, the red brick from base game would match in just perfectly as well into this house. But yeah, so this house is like I said, is very much uses a lot of base game, which is nice. But yeah, so this is what I really enjoyed about the house was that it did use so much base game, and we had so many of the objects already in game to be able to build this house. But yeah, and I really liked where the front door is positioned, and it's sort of that brick there by the front door changes. It sort of uses this like I used the white, that one from Vampires, which I thought was quite nice, and it's sort of like is this another sort of architectural detail in the house. Now, as you can see, I'm building the pool that will become pool house / garage, and I built it quite exact to how she did it in the show, where the staircase goes to the second level, so it's not a staircase that's inside, and I left concrete. Well, I chose different concrete, I didn't use the default concrete for the floor of the garage. And then I made the upstairs white wood, and then I used the sliding that we used for the house, and I just made it white sliding, so it looked almost like it was raw still, because she hadn't painted the upstairs of the pool house, which I thought was quite nice. The pool house also grows. As you can see, it's quite small and thin now, and it didn't look nice, I thought, compared to the house, which is quite a big square. So I did change it. Also, the garage would have been 2 squares big, and no car is going to fit through there. Not that garage door will open, but yeah, no car is going to fit through there. But yeah, so I really did enjoy building it, though. I'm not saying I didn't. It was just an interesting build. You know, it's difficult in The Sims to build from real life, because obviously the biggest part is the scale is quite off compared to real life. Like, lots of things are half tiles in real life, and in The Sims you cannot do half tile walls, for example. But yeah, as you can see, I'm starting to first use terrain paint to do the driveway, and then I realized that brick, it's a very nice brick and I really like it. It doesn't sort of match with what the actual brick of the house is. So that brick does change. But you'll see now, I moved the lot to the lot next to it, the bigger lot. I think it's a 30 by 40, if I'm not mistaken. This is a 30 by 20. Yes, and no, is it a 40 by 30? I don't know, I'll double check that. But yeah, so I did move it to the lot next door. And I wanted to know, I hope that everybody's enjoying the videos coming out, and I have started a TikTok, so I will also be posting on TikTok like sneak previews of what I'm going to be putting out. And yeah, like I've been doing on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's at Luke, not Luke, that's my name. It's at SASimmer90, no, at SA_Simmer_. So there's at SASimmer and then an extra underscore after the name. But yeah. So yes, it was quite an interesting house. You can see now I've already moved it. I obviously cut out the whole moving of the house. I've moved it and I've made it bigger and sort of used that brick instead of the terrain paint. And like you can see, I'm starting to landscaping. And landscaping for me was very important when creating this house. I didn't really want it to make it exactly like it's the show. Like, I didn't expect, like, I wanted this house to be universal, to be able to be used by anybody. Bree necessarily does not have to live here. But I wanted the garden to really show sort of what the inspiration was, what this house was sort of based on. And I think I did a good job. I found the landscaping absolutely beautiful. And again, I know I've said this like in almost every video, but Twisted Mexie's Better Build and Buy really is a lifesaver. It lets you have access to, well, you already have access to all the debug plants, but they're all cataloged, which is so nice when trying to landscape. Now, as you can see here, this is a flower bed I'm trying to make with a rounded floor piece, which took longer than I showed on the video, because for some reason, when placing fencing around that circle, it doesn't really always take. immediately. So it doesn't always snap to the circle. You have to like really like position your camera correctly in order for it to take, which was a bit annoying, but anyway. And you can see I've put the hydrangeas in, which I found so beautiful. I do love hydrangeas. Sorry, I knocked my mic. I do love hydrangeas. Then obviously I use my favorite yellow flowers there, and those bulbous bushes, which are really nice too. I quite like the way they've been cut. It almost looks like there is a gardener that comes in. And if you watch Housewives, you know the gardener is a big thing. Not so much for Bree, but the gardener was a big thing in the show. A lot of the ladies have an affair with him. Sorry, I just want to have some water. But yeah, I really did enjoy landscaping this house. And also she's got a lot of trees as well that sort of like frame the house, which I quite enjoyed. As you can see, I'm putting them in. And I quite like the green, that dark green on those trees. So I used them. Yeah, so I wanted the garden to look very carefully planned. I didn't want it to look like it was sorry, not planned, but very carefully, well, planned, yeah, but carefully thought out. I didn't want it to look like it was just overgrown. And I think I did quite a good job in that, creating like certain sections where the flowers exist. And all the hedges I used were nicely trimmed. So it's quite almost stately home. But yet it also could be a beautiful family home because, like I said, it does have a beautiful garden. But yeah, I quite enjoyed, like I said, I've said this for the first, if I say quite enjoyed again, I promise you. But yeah, I did really find it fun to landscape this house. It was something different. I don't normally like to landscape so almost strictly. I normally like to just like throw flowers everywhere and throw bushes everywhere. Also obviously thought out, but I didn't really want it to be like just look like someone had put bushes everywhere. I like to put the fences in to trim the flower beds, which I thought was just stunning. And I think this house would look beautiful in autumn when all the trees change color and all the flowers start to die. I think it would be quite a beautiful autumnal home as well. And talking about that, the build for Wednesday is a pack restricted build. I'm not going to tell you which packs. It's only base game and something else. Because I'm thinking every Wednesday I'm going to do that. I'm going to do one build. Every Wednesday I'm going to do a build that is one of the packs and base game. Like last Wednesday I just did base game. And yes, I will just do base game builds again on Wednesdays. But Wednesdays will always be a pack restricted build. Yeah, that's my plan. But anyway, so this build obviously uses all the packs I own. I obviously don't own all the packs, but all the packs I do own, this build uses. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it. And like, I don't know if I mentioned, I will hear when I listen to this recording again, that you can download this at the gallery, which is just SASimmer 97, SA_Simmer 97. And all my builds that I build for YouTube are on there. I finally went through the gallery and deleted all my old builds. There is a build there. I rebuilt the Goth Manor like years ago, and I quite enjoyed that house. Look, it's not my best work ever because it was like just when I got the Sims. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that house, so I have left one of my old builds on the gallery if you want to check it out. I quite like it. It has lots of meaning for me. But I was thinking I want to rebuild the Goth Manor again at some point. Maybe I'll do it sometime. So yeah. So I really hope you like this house because I know a lot of us were fans of the show, are still fans of the show, and yeah, so it's almost very nostalgic in a way. The next house, I think, I want to say the next one, but one of the houses I want to build from a TV show is definitely the Halliwell Manor from Charmed. That is, I think, my favorite TV show of all time. I'm a big fan of that show. I haven't watched the new one. The reboot, not because I have anything against it. I think the diversity and especially the diversity and using people of color is very important in Hollywood, especially because there is such a lack of that. And I must be honest with you, I just haven't given it a shot, and I do, but I'm worried that I'll hate it, and then I'll feel bad for hating it because they really did try with it. But yeah, I will. Maybe. I'll consider giving it a shot, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I really love the original, and I don't want to spoil the original for me, because now I love this one more. But yeah. So we did an outside... I did the sort of patio. She doesn't really have a covered patio. It's more of like just the back garden, and I paved most of it. There is grass, obviously, in this house still, but there's a lot of paving. Like I said, it's very thought out, I felt. And it's very much like the character of Bree. I mean, she suffers from OCD in the show, which makes sense. And her house is very meticulous. You'll see with the interior, I didn't exactly copy the interior furniture exactly, but I sort of used a lot of influences from the house and from the show, which I hope you guys will see if you are fans of the show. But yeah, she's quite a meticulous lady, and she really loves gardening, which I thought was pretty cool to be able to put in the Sims. Also, since we got Eco Lifestyle, which I really hope it's Eco Lifestyle, because I think in every video I've said it's Eco Lifestyle. I really need to check the name of that. We got a whole bunch of gardening stuff, which I thought was pretty cool, because I've always found in The Sims that gardening sort of lacked. And now that we have all this like vertical growing, the insect box and all of that, I found that gardening has suddenly become a much more enjoyable experience for everybody, I think. Which I think is important, because then it gives another activity or skill building thing to do. And I think that is what is important with The Sims. As much as I'm a builder and I do prefer building to gameplay, even though I do still play The Sims, I find that sometimes when gameplay comes out, it's sort of fun for like the first few times you play it, maybe the first few hours you play it, and then when the gameplay is over, then it's like, okay, now I have nothing to do with this gameplay, which I think it's important that there is gameplay that still continues. Like with seasons, that's gameplay that's never going to get old. With Eco Lifestyle, I must be honest with you, caring about the environment should never get old in real life and The Sims. And stuff like that, I think it is important. University, you're always going to have children. Your children are always going to go to university, and there's a bunch of different degrees. Look, university, I suppose, can get repetitive because there's only so many exams you can study for. But I do think it is an important milestone that was included in The Sims. And yeah, so now we're moving on to the interior. And like I said, her house goes through a few changes throughout the show. So the interiors get renovated. And in the last season, she has this blue wallpaper. So I sort of used the last season's color scheme, but with the first season's interior, which is very much beige and brown and stuff, which I quite enjoyed. And then her dining room in the last season has yellow walls. But then in the last house I built, I used yellow walls for the dining room, the base game Victorian. So I didn't want to do that again. So I think I used a beige color, like almost like a purpley beige, if that makes sense. We'll see it now. But yeah, so I quite enjoyed furnishing this house, because I really wanted to have that whole meticulous, like furniture is placed meticulously, furniture is neat, there's lots of flowers, because she's a gardener. And obviously you can change the interior to what you like. But yeah, so that was just my thought process. But yeah, I really loved building this house, especially the fact that it was one of the first houses that I built from a TV show that didn't require CC to make it look like the house, because the base game has so many architectural details that are already like the house, which I thought was pretty cool. Like the Hannibal Manor that I want to build, I have a bunch of charm CC. Like I have the windows, the actual windows from the manor. I have the furniture. I have lots of the light fixtures from the manor. So it would be a very CC heavy base, which I'm a bit nervous for, because I do understand that not everybody wants to download CC into their game. And I know the creator of the CC that no longer makes CC. So I need to check if before I build that house, if that CC is still available, so I can link it in the description of the video of that video, because I don't want you guys to download a house that that cannot be playable or doesn't have all the things, because like I said, it would be a house very heavily based with CC, because like I said, I do have a lot of charm CC in my game. But Twisted Mixie's mod, if you don't want to use custom content, you just turn off the custom content, and none of it appears in the furnishing, which makes it very easy. What I found when building the base game Victorian was trying to only stick to base game was hard, because the filter kept on turning off. I know there is a way. I think that what's his name? The Sim Supply. He's changed his name though. Anyway, the Sim Supply has a tutorial on how to turn off packs, which I need to watch so I can turn off my packs, because I'm busy building a pack restricted pack for this week Wednesday, and it's very difficult constantly having to turn back on the filters and then forgetting things. Even in that base game Victorian, I realized when I uploaded to the gallery that there was a university laptop in the house. And so I had to remove that and put a proper computer. But don't worry, it is now only base game and up on the gallery if you want to download it. Also, this house will be up on the gallery once this video goes live, which is super nice. And then in the dining room, as you can see, sorry, I've spoken through this whole furnishing, I put those two dining room chairs in the corner there, because she actually has an 8-seater dining room table, but the room was quite small, so I put those two extra chairs. So if you do have dinner parties, you can always use a bigger table and put those two chairs out onto the table, which I thought was quite nice. Now, the kitchen in this house is very strange, I will admit. It is quite a large kitchen, but it doesn't really fit to scale with the exterior of the house. Obviously, the interior is a set, and the exterior is an actual house. In fact, funny enough, this house is actually the bathroom on that fake street. So the crew members and the actors and actresses would go into this house because it was just toilets in here. Actually, it wasn't actually this interior. But yeah, I thought it was quite funny because Bree has OCD. Not that mental illness is funny, that's not what I'm saying. I just think that if you watch the show, you'll understand why it would be funny that her house was the bathroom, because she's so pedantic about keeping her house meticulous and clean. And yeah, so this kitchen is not to scale. There's actually a big butcher's block in the original house, and I couldn't include that in this house because I just didn't have enough space in the kitchen. And I wanted to include that bench, which is obviously not usable, but the rest of the table's usable, just you can't sit on that bench. I wanted to include that bench where, like that breakfast table where they can sit and have breakfast. So I tried to include the butcher's block, as you can see, but unfortunately it didn't work. So I removed it and put those two extra counters in the corner there. That's only where the fridge goes. And I put the sink and dishwasher in there. And then there's like this sort of like serving station there with, on the other side, then I put is where her washing machine and dishwasher is situated. So yeah, so that was quite cool. I like this kitchen. I liked it in the show. It also changes color quite a lot. And there's actually a CC kitchen that I have. I don't know who made it, but it's sort of based on the Laundry Day stuff that would have been perfect for this house. But obviously I don't want to use CC for my YouTube channel and any of the houses I upload to the gallery, because I want you guys to be able to download them. That's my biggest thing. I want you to download them. And like I said, in the future, I probably will make a CC build, but I'm not sure quite yet. I'm quite enjoying just building with the stuff that is already in The Sims, because they have really given us some nice stuff over the years. I must be honest with you, this is, like I said, I think in my first video, this is one of my favorite Sims games ever released. I think Sims 1 is my favorite. But then Sims 4 is definitely second. I know that's scandalous. Everybody loves The Sims 2, and I do love The Sims 2. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But yeah, this one is my favorite. So probably Sims 1, Sims 4, Sims 2, and then Sims 3. I just have a problem with Sims 3 because it never ran on my computer, and it was just so frustrating because, you know, you spend so much money on buying the game and stuff, and then it just doesn't run. And I think that making a game for everybody is important in this day and age, and I think that the Sims team really did a good job including everybody in this game. In terms of being able to run it on your computer. Like I said, there are issues, like I mentioned, I think in both of my last videos, that there is no African town or world, which could be improved upon. But, you know, maybe that's coming. Let's hope. Because I know there was a survey once. I don't remember where it was. I watched it on Pixelate, I think. There was a survey once that asked like what kind of world you would like, and one of them was an African town or city. I know I'm going on about this, but I just think that oftentimes in the world, Africa is excluded from the narrative, and I think that it's time that we get included. We only ever get included in the narrative when something bad's going on here, and there's a lot of beauty on this continent as well, which I think is important and needs to be shown in a game that's meant to simulate life. But yeah, so here is the TV lounge. So she has a formal lounge by the staircase, and then she has her TV lounge, which I quite enjoyed about that. A lot of houses in South Africa are like that, especially older houses, where there's always a formal lounge where you like have visitors, and then there is the TV lounge where you have your TV, where you watch TV as a family, etc. And I think that's why I want to build the Hallowell Manor so much, because I remember in my youth sitting around the TV with my sisters and my mom and my dad and watching Charmed. I don't know, it's just a very important show to me, and I think it got me through a lot of tough times growing up, you know, which I quite appreciate, which I will get into if I ever build that house, I will tell you. But until such time, yeah, I really do appreciate that show a lot. And now we're on to the main bedroom. I didn't furnish any of the bathrooms on camera, I don't think. But yeah, they're pretty much like a beige bathroom. You can sort of see it there. They are all decorated. They all have toilet paper and towels and stuff. So if you do download this house, it's not like the bathroom just has like a toilet, a shower, and a basin, and that's it. It's fully decorated. So this house is fully decorated. Whatever I don't show you, I promise you I have fully decorated. Like you saw the passage there, I also decorated what do you call them in America? Hallways. I also decorated the hallway there. But yeah, so this bedroom I wanted to look very, because in the show, I wanted to sort of pay homage to all the characters that live in this house. Now, in the show, I wanted this bedroom to almost seem cold because her relationship with her husband in the first season is cold. They're not very happy. She does end up with someone, I think. I don't remember if she ends up with someone. But anyway, she does sort of go through a lot of relationships in the show. She's quite a cool lady, actually. But yeah, so her husband and her don't have a good relationship. That's why this one wanted to make the bedroom kind of cold. And you will see, I think the daughter's name's Danielle and the son's name is Andrew. So this is sort of would be Danielle's room. I put that in quotes because, like I said, you can download this house for any family. It doesn't have to be for the Vanderkamps, which is her name. Her surname is Bree Vanderkamp. So yeah, Danielle's kind of like a free spirit in a sense, very different from her mother. She actually puts her mother through quite a hard time throughout the show, and you actually sort of have sympathy for Bree in the show. But yeah, so I wanted to make that sort of apparent. And her bedroom is actually pink in the show, but it's much bigger. Like I said, the second floor and the first floor don't really make sense in this house on the exterior. Her bedroom is much bigger than it is in this build, but alas, that's just the space. So yeah, I wanted to show you that yes, it has some like classic pieces that obviously maybe Bree has chosen, but it is not who Danielle is. And that's why I wanted to pay homage to her. And that's what I did. So yeah, it's sort of like a teen girl's bedroom, and she's kind of like naughty and stuff. Naughty is such a terrible word to describe somebody, but yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. And then this is Andrew's bedroom, and there's a big storyline in the show where he comes out to Bree and Bree doesn't sort of accept him, which I kind of relate to in like sort of my own coming out story. But yeah, so and she doesn't accept him, and Andrew's also not the easiest son to have, but she eventually accepts him and they're all happy and stuff. And I wanted to sort of pay homage to his own journey as a queer person. So when I put his desk, I put a calendar. There we have like this sexy man calendar. I don't know where it's from, but yeah, I put it on the wall there just to sort of pay homage to his queerness and being proud of who he is. That's sort of what happens throughout the show, especially when his mother accepts him fully. I'm not saying that as a queer person you need to have family acceptance, because a lot of us choose our own family, but it is important that you have people in your life that love you. And when they love you, you really do grow as a person, you know. But you must love yourself too, you know. Listen to RuPaul. If you can't love yourself, if you can't love yourself, how does it go? I don't remember his quote, but he sort of mentions that that in the TV show, in RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay, so now we're on to the actually talking about RuPaul's Drag Race. Have you guys been watching the new season? It's suspiciously long, right? It's very long. But anyway, now we're on to the guest house. Sort of this would be her, she calls it her test kitchen in the show, and I did include a little kitchen in here. A very modern kitchen, because I wanted it to look like it was built recently. Like the house was maybe built in like the 80s, and this was the garage, and then she renovated the garage, and sort of this guest house is being renovated. So I wanted to make it sort of modern, and I also wanted to make it look like no one actually physically stays here. It's more for guests. So I didn't really make it that personal. Like I decorated it, and it was I thought it was quite pretty. But yeah, very much grays and whites and stuff, just to show that it's for someone who's staying maybe at your family's house. So yeah, and then I used those vines from Eco Lifestyle, which I love. I love those vines. I used them in my first build, actually, around the pool, and I thought it looked so pretty. But yeah, so I love it. It's quite a nice little, and I put like a storage shelf there, so maybe she keeps some of her linen in here when there's no guests, and then she'll maybe move it out when there are guests. And then I finally used that plant from Paranormal Stuff, because I tried to use it in all my builds so far, and that plant really is quite something. It's quite big. That's the problem. It's quite big, so I put it outside by the pool. Now, I sort of went a 360 upstairs, which I don't mind, from the grey and white. I sort of chose this purple bed linen, or purpley blue bed linen here. And I really love this bed, I do. And I like the linen. I thought it was quite well done. And then I used a beige lamp sort of to match in with the linen. And then I used, did I use that one? Yes, no, I didn't. I used that one from university stuff. I really love it. So she went to IKEA and bought those closets for her guests. You know, they can slip their clothes in there when they stay over. Fresh flowers are very important when having guests. I'm sure Bree feels that feels good. I'm saying that. But yeah, like I said, this house is not necessarily for Bree. It's for any family that you have. And then the bathroom here. Oh, I photoshopped this bathroom on camera, which is nice. I used I think it's the Seasons bathroom. Yeah, I must make a Seasons build. You know, this bathroom looked like it could fit into a loft really nicely. Maybe I'll build a loft for not this week's pack restricted build. Maybe next week's pack restricted build. I'll build a loft. We'll see. You know, I don't want to spoil anything. Okay, we're on to screenshots. I will see you on Wednesday. Have a lovely Monday. Bye, guys.